سلام مجدد و شب بخیر مجدد. ما تایم 1 ساعت رو رسیدیم و قطع شدیم. من اینو به حالت تایم تغییر بدم. حالا دوباره لایو شروع کردیم. امیلیانا بهمون اضافه بشه باش ریکوست رو میفرستیم و میریم برای در واقع کار کردن روی تکنیک هایی که فدورا داره. یعنی یه سری تمرین ها بعد قراره که امیلیانو به ما بده که ببینیم فدورا با اون تکنیکا چجوری این اتفاقایی که میخواد رو رقم میزنه، چون یه سری کلاسای گروهی داره. خب آگاهی میدن و اینا، ببینیم که چجوری این کار رو کنه. Okay, we are waiting for Emiliano to join us and give us some practical exercises regarding Fedora technique. We want to see how it goes. I'm personally really delighted to get to know this technique, and I believe it's a really nice one and practical one. Let's wait until Emiliano joins us. Okay. نکته بعدی که در واقع امیلیانو به اون اضافه شد. من امیلیانو رو اضافه کنم بعد. Emiliano, just send you. Okay, can you hear me and can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, you were telling us about the tongue.
Yes. So I think I go to the points that, and not all the points, because we are talking and we are it taking longer that I expected, and it's great because it seems that we are understanding, and it's really difficult to transmit orally this technique because it's all about the exercises, you know. So I think I will talk about two little things, and we can do an exercise together. Okay?
Sure. I think that's a really good idea because practical exercises really demonstrate and clarify everything you are telling us, and I think the best way is to have some practical exercises. Really good idea.
Okay. So should we wait or I start?
I think we can start.
Okay.
Get going. The audience will join us, don't worry.
Okay, yes, okay. So, I reached to the point where the feeling came, you know? So we said, don't feel, do, and now we say, so the feeling has come to us because we were in this journey where we were doing, and in a point when we have conscience and we have attention, and we were working with the tongue and the different parts of our bodies, we start feeling. It's the first thing that it's going to be. But
a question came up in my mind. I didn't necessarily understand where the movement came from. You know, the previous factor that you mentioned, you said that every movement is originated from a muscle, maybe, for example, when we play the piano, a muscle under the arm. We call it the upper back muscles. Anyway, but this third factor that you mentioned, I didn't get that really. What is that? You mean where each move come from? Okay, isn't it exactly the same as the second factor, or they are different?
Okay, so no, it's not a medical construction, you know. It's not like the movement is originated from here because the action of the muscles go from here to there. It's like we need to be focused. I don't like the word focus, but we need to pay attention to that places and work with that places, because they originate the movement. For example, I can talk about I don't know, movement my leg, and I can pay attention to the action of the joint in the shoulder. So maybe you can say, okay, so what has to do this part of the body with the other one? That's what.
When we are doing something, or we are moving, we have a motion or something like that, it's important to think about the originated place of that movement. Is that exactly what you mean?
It's kind of that, but it's not like it's not exactly as you said, because you said like the underarm. You know, when you move the arm, it's we say, okay, from here, yes, we start the movement, and that's a medical thing, and we can prove that in a way. For example, you know.
Got that. I got that.
So, but yes.
Give me a couple of seconds to translate this part.
Okay.
یه نکته جالبی که توی فدورا هست، میگن هر حرکتی رو که انجام میدید به نقطه‌ای که اون حرکت رو داره فرماندهی میکنه فکر کنید. به عنوان مثال میگم، من دارم دستم رو اینجوری میارم جلوم، مثلا میگم پشت کتف من، این اون نقطه رو فکر کنیم و با آگاهی انجام بدیم تا نقاط اصلی که باعث انجام این حرکت رو پیدا کنیم. Okay, video again.
So, the thing here is, because of that, it's strange to think that if we want to move a foot, we are talking, or we are paying attention to the thumb. You know, that's why the engine, the fuel that let us move that part of the body is not directly related. It's how we think the place, not that they are connected in a way that is physically proven, you know. So that's the different thing. That's the thing that it's strange about Fedora. It's really strange. That's a reality. When you start doing this technique, the first thing that you understand or you wonder is, I don't know if I'm losing my tongue here, because I'm working with my tongue trying to solve a problem in my leg, you know. But as you start doing the exercises, you start understanding. So that's why it's so important to do the exercises, because
move to the exercises to
yes, maybe I think maybe we can give 2 or 3 examples about the words that I will use when we do the exercise, so we can understand what I'm talking about. Yes? And we do the exercise, and then we talk about the exercise. Okay?
Sure.
So, the thing is, there is a way, some misconception about the words, as we mentioned earlier. So we will talk about conscience, we will talk about attention, and there are some things that it's important to have in mind. We will tend to repeat the word, yes? Repeat the word not as repeating when we say like an exercise. The words will help us to keep the attention, you know? The attention in thinking in the place. And the main thing about repeating the word, the main thing about doing the exercise, thinking about the word and thinking about the part of the body, is because I think a place, it appears. Yes? Like I think in the thumb, it appears in my mind. And because it appears in my mind, I think it. Also, so it's like a circle. It's like a circle that it fits from itself, you know, because you are thinking and it appears, and because it appears, I start to think it again. So because I think this place and it appears and I pay attention to the place, I start to feel this place. Yes? The feeling appears from the search of the place and not, and we won't talk about how to feel. We will talk about how to search and how to pay attention to the place. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the main thing here is not to cut the energy in your arm, not to have tightness, you know. So we do the exercise and we will talk about it after we do it. Okay?
Sure.
So the exercise is really simple. It's one of the first exercises that it's given to the students in the first classes. And we have to take in mind that a class of Fedora lasts from 1.5 to 2. Yes? And you do not always the same exercise, but you have to focus on the travel of the movement. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what we are basically, let me put this, I'm seated, yes? So what we are going to do is just sit and slide our arm up and down. Why I say slide? Because I don't want to go and come back. I want to try to understand and pay attention to the whole travel of the movement. Yes?
Sure.
So, how should it be seen? Yes? It's like, the exercise is like this. Yes? And
You just raise your arm.
yes. Just raise your arm and go back to your leg. Yes? But the thing here is two things. You will work with your whole hand. You will think about your whole hand, and all 5 of your fingers. Yes? Like a complete part of your body. And the word that you will, or the attention that you will have is in your tongue. So you will repeat to yourself, thinking about what I said earlier about thinking and paying attention, conscious of the tongue. So if I do it saying out loud what I think, I'm like this, I'm thinking. Conscious of the tongue, and go to a place. You will feel.
You mean that you are thinking about the tongue all the time? You are not thinking about the hand and forearm, just about the tongue?
Not in the first experiences, because when you start to having conscience of your tongue, maybe 5 places, I don't know, 1 month from exercises or something like that, you start to be able to thinking about your tongue and the part of the body. So we start from there, and then we go to the next level. You know, you have to take in mind that exercises develop. So when you start doing this, you start with the tongue, then you start with the whole hand, as we said, and then you start to working each finger individually.
I see.
But now it's too many information, you know. So we start just thinking and moving.
Okay. As the first one, should we think about the hand and forearm?
You only need to think and pay attention to the word. So we talk about the tongue. You have to think about conscience of the tongue, and you have to think about only that. We will be correcting you, or I will be correcting you as I see, as you as you are going to be doing the exercise. Maybe you can put your camera a little down so I can see when you reach your leg.
Sure, just. Okay.
Okay.
Our hands are on. So go now.
Let me put the volume up. I didn't. Sorry.
Is it okay now? Can you
yes.
see?
It's okay. It's okay. I will focus on how you move your arm. So
okay.
let's try together. Yes. So I will look straight and start thinking conscious of the tongue.
Let me just see this way. I think it's better.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So conscious of the tongue. Yes. And I will start doing. I'm thinking conscious of the tongue and start moving the arm up, the whole arm. You know, when we say arm in the technique, we refer to the upper arm and all of this with the hand, yes? And
yes,
as we have to focus on the travel of the movement, you have to start doing in this speed, you know?
You mean at a slower tempo?
Exactly. But it's not about the tempo, it's about the attention. Because when you pay attention to the whole travel, you don't want to reach to a place. You just focus on the travel. Focus. Up. And down. And the thing here, the most important thing, is that it's important not to try to imitate me. Just think about the travel. You are moving to a place. You tend to reach this place. Think about the travel. It will be slower if you think about the travel.
Okay, just give me a moment to translate that. تو این حالت بشین دستاتون بذارید اینجا یه حرکت از خود دست از ناحیه سرشونه میخوایم داشته باشیم به اینکه دست به کجا میخواد بره و از کجا میخواد برگرده فکر نکنید، فقط به مسیر فکر کنید. این مسیر رو میرید و میاید با یه تمپو بسیار بسیار پایین. من الان خودم داشتم تمپو رو تند انجام میدادم، باید خیلی تمپو پایین‌تر بشه. اوکی؟
Okay. So, let's try it. And you have to keep thinking, attention or conscience of the tongue. You will feel what you have to feel. Think about the tongue as the main engine of the work. Yes. Great. Just reach the place that you can reach. You don't have to go here or here or here. You have to go the place when you are comfortable. Conscience of the tongue. You have to keep it repeating to yourself and thinking and paying attention to your tongue, how it reacts to your movement. Each hand is different. Think in his own singularity. You are losing attention when you work with your right hand.
Oh, I see, yes.
Yes?
Exactly.
So, right hand, conscience of the tongue. Better, better. You will see how when you see this live, you will see some interesting things. Okay.
That's a nice exercise.
It's all about this because it's a way to relearn how to move. You have to think that we have to retrain our bodies and our minds to move as we were babies, you know?
In my West estimation, in my mind, I'm just doing the exercise by using the tongue as the source of energy and using the tongue as the engine. Am I doing the exercise right or wrong?
Yes, right. And if you can see yourself right now, it was really different when you start thinking about the conscience of the tongue, when I say it and you start to understanding what I was saying. Because if you see this slide before and after, you know, you will see this. The first hammer is like this, yes? The second hammer is like this, slower and starting to understand, but when he's moving his right arm, he moves like this, you know? But when I said, conscience of your tongue, when you, and I said to you, you are loosening when you are trying to move your right arm, the hand immediately goes from here to here. And I didn't say nothing. You will see that. And that's why when you start thinking about the engines, the places start to open. And we don't talk about open your finger, you know? We can talk about why this finger is open like this when you are moving, because an important thing when us move is not to try to stretch, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Pull like this, stretching like this is not good to the energy to flow. So yes. Just do it. Let's do it just 5 minutes, okay? And we will talk about the exercise. 5 minutes more. Yes, try to focus, and we will talk about what you felt, and let's see what came up. Think about not repeating. Each time it's like the first time. Conscience of the tongue. And each hand has its own singularities. Yes. Don't lose it. Don't rush the movement. Just when you start thinking about the tongue and his action. Attention to the tongue and conscience of it. And when you reach your leg, you start with the other arm. Don't rushing and thinking about the movement. Think about your tongue. With the other hand. Okay.
It's really interesting. When I lose connection with the tongue, and I think about the arm and the hand, I feel more contractions in these places. But when I think about, when I concentrate on the tongue, everything is different. I do the movement more freely.
Yes, the thing is, it's really difficult to have a conclusion with such a little time, you know, but it's really common when people start to understand the technique, you know, that they have this kind of movements. They are doing this, and they're doing like this, because you start to develop a connection with your inner muscles, you know?
I see.
And they are forgotten by us. Well, we don't think about them. So, and it's difficult to think about them because we don't control them, you know? But when you start to open the door, you start doing that kind of things. It's common and it's strange because when it happens to you, you don't know what is going on. And the teacher said to you, it's fine, it's normal, but you start to have some vibration because the muscles are not trained. The inner muscles are not trained. We forget about them a long time ago. So these things, the important thing about this technique is to start doing and to start thinking about where it comes the movement, because then the feeling will be yours. You will say what you felt. I won't say to you, what do you have to feel, you know?
I know. Yes.
So the thing is, well, the problem with this technique is that it's difficult to give it with words, yes, and the exercises are difficult to do, not because they are difficult itself, because one lose his attention, start moving like you do in your normal life, and it's really boring, because imagine if you have to do that 1 hour and a half.
Oh.
Yes, that's what happened when you start doing this technique. And the first 2 weeks, I think, when I started doing this technique, the most important thing in my life was to not feel pain, you know? So the teacher says, do it every day, and I did it every day. And the first 2-3 weeks were terrible because it was so boring. I wanted to grab my phone, or I don't know, go to the computer instead of doing this, or maybe grab my violin and doing it. And it needs time to grow, because nobody is saying you what to feel and what to do. Just what to do, yes, but you are building your own sensations, yes? And
yes,
the thing is, or the most important thing about this technique is, and the difference with other is that we, or someone start thinking how to think, and you became your own master, as someone says once, and or your own teacher, yes? And
yes, it's really your awareness, yes?
Sorry?
It really helps us to raise our awareness.
Yes, exactly. It's just nobody will tell you how you have to interact with your body. You have to understand it by yourself, and it takes a long time, because well, how much time it takes you to start walking when you're a baby? You know, one can say, okay, but your brain is not developed, and okay, it's true, but it takes a long time to relearn how to do simple movements. And when you go to an instrument, it works. It magically works, and I can't explain that. It works. We can think together why it works, yes, but it's kind of magical. We have exercise with the instrument. So, and it's interesting because these things are important. For example, for guitarists, yes, they have so much problems in their right hand because of the repetition. Yes, you have to do this in the same string. So
yes,
thinking about or applying the exercise in a way, because each time is like the first time. Each finger has his own singularities, and when you start doing the exercises, you reach one point when you start exercising the fingers. So an advanced, not advanced, but middle exercise is, for example, I have to move it, and as I move my arm and I think my tongue, I have to move my finger, one finger at a time. Yes? So
yes,
to that point, you have to develop consciousness in different places of your body. First tongue, then you start with opening your hand and the center of your hand, and then you start to thinking about the side and different things, different parts. So it's a long journey, but it pays off, you know?
yes, yes. It's a really nice technique. I really liked the things that you mentioned, and I think it's really useful. It can help us to raise our awareness, and it can help us to know more about our movements and do them in a way that we understand what we are doing, which is really important, especially for musicians, because when we play the instrument, we do not understand what we are doing with our movements. We just take a lot of care with the notes, with the music sheet, and we just lose our body. We never think about our body, our muscles, and I think this technique is really nice to have, of course. Anyway, thank you, Emiliano, for joining us tonight. Is there anything that you want to mention? Because we are reaching 90 minutes. Actually, we passed 90 minutes, and we don't usually make longer than that. Just let us know if there's anything else that you'd like to share with us.
Okay, I think that the most important thing about all techniques is that they complement each other, you know? And I think we need to learn how to connect them. We need to learn how to connect them, because different people develop different techniques because they have different problems. And I think it's silly to think that it's only one way to fix all problems, you know? So I think what I have to say is first, thank you. I think what you are doing is really important, because having these techniques all together and developing a community with people that are trying to find a way, because you are alone when you have pain. That's the thing. Nobody will help you like a wizard, you know?
Yes.
One is going to a doctor and thinking that he will give me a pill and I will start doing Paganini, and that's not going to happen.
Yes.
So I think that's the most important part. If I have to talk about Fedora, okay, we touch 2 of the 7 points that I write, but and if I keep writing, I can write a lot of more. But the most important thing is to start doing, because that's the way that we can escape the pain.
Yes, you just mentioned a really good factor about different methods and different techniques and how they complete each other. You know that that is the exact reason why I'm trying to do this. You know, I said everything has its own advantages, and when they actually come together, they can make a big difference. I say musicians are facing too many injuries these days,
Yes.
and unfortunately, they are facing debilitating conditions. They cannot play the instrument. They have to, they face career-ending problems, and that's a, that's a, no, that's not good. That's not good. And whenever I hear and I read about it, it makes me really sad because I'm a musician and I personally understand that when you cannot play your instrument, that's a big pain in your life. You know that you have to deal with it for the rest of your life, and it's not good. And that's why we are trying to make a community and bring all those techniques together to put their advantages, you know, aside and have a good, uh, let's say, course for preventing performance-related injuries in universities and in schools to
You're
help
right.
musicians stay healthy during their journey.
That's so important because the main thing here is that we have institutions that teach us how to think music, but not how to face the problem with music. Because
Yes,
let's face it, it's really difficult to be a musician, to be a good musician.
yes,
Yes.
yes, exactly. I couldn't agree
Okay.
more.
So I thank you and thank you for having me, and hope
Thank
to hear
you
from
for
you.
joining us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know that you made a lot of effort to gather information about the Fedora and prepare something for us. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that was the thing because Fedora is only in Spanish, and you have different sources, so it's important to give knowledge to the world, you know, because let's face it, English is the language of the world.
Yes, yes. What you did is highly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great rest of your day and bye.
So you, bye bye.
خب ما امشب راجع به فدورا صحبت کردیم. تکنیکی بود که توی در واقع آرژانتین استفاده میشد. یه خانومی بود، نوازنده پیانو بودن و خیلی توجه کردن که حرکت‌های ما خیلی خیلی زیاد وابسته به کلام ماست و آگاهی ما از اون حرکت‌ها. لایو جالبی بود. دوست داشتید میتونید حالا ببینیدش چون سیو میکنم توی صفحه‌ام. ممنون که بهمون اضافه شدید. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us and see you next Sunday. Bye.